friends, welcome to Be Learning Club. So in this tutorial, I'm going to talking about the Python function. So let's see at the table of content. So I will talk about the what is the function, defining and calling the function, function parameter, then return statement, variable scope, local variable and global variable, argument, keyword argument, lambda function, and these. Okay. So at first in the mathematical term, what is a function? F of x is a function and f of x is defined by f of x is equal to x plus 2. So when the value of x equal to 3, so then f of 3 will be 3 plus 2 is 5. When x equal to 5, then f of 5 will be 5 plus 2, 7. This is the simple mathematical function. So in Python, the function works in the same way. So what is the function? Let's see. At first, see the definition of the function. So function is a block of organized and reusable code to perform a single and related action. That is the reusable code. So f of x is defined by x plus 3. Okay, so when we put x equal to 2, it will be 5. When we put x equal to 3, it will be 6. When we put f of x equal to 4, it will be 7. So we can use it infinite number of times. So this is the reusable code to perform a single action. What is a single action? This is the single action. Okay, so let's see the syntax of the Python function. So at first go to the VS Code. So now you can use the online compiler also. So here the programmist.com, it is an online Python compiler. You can use these. You can also use the VS Code or Python interpreter system, anything you can use. So at first I just run it. Okay, so it works. Now what is the syntax? So to define the Python function, use def keyword. So def keyword by defining a Python functions. So then type the function name, and then type the parameters, then type the parameters, and then type the function's body, and then return the value of the functions. So let's see. So this is the x is a parameter and x plus 3, it will return the function's value. So let's first of all sum of the two numbers. We can create a function for sum of two numbers. So sum underscore sum of two numbers, numbers. Okay, so parameter will be x and y. So I can use two parameter x and y and return and the x plus y. Remember friends, you have to use the right indentations. So return always inside the functions. So use right indentation system. So now this function will return sum of two numbers. So now let's create a variable p equal sum of two numbers and put the value x and y. For x I will put 2 and for y I will put 3 4. Okay, so 2 and 4 for x is 2 and y is 4. Now print print p. P store this function value. Okay, so when I print p, let's run it friend. So now I can see 6. Okay, so let's change it to 7. So it will have the value 9. So you can see the 9. Okay, so this is the syntax of the Python functions. So this is the function name and these are the parameters and the return the results, and you can put the function's body inside the function. Okay, so def, let's see in the PDF. So where it, okay, so def is the keyword tells the Python function is being defined, and Python function name of the function, and then use the parameter. Optional input the function can accept. You can use this parameter or not, it's up to you. And return, you have to return the value of the functions. Okay, so now a single or simple example for grid. So let's see. So just go to the Python and VS Code, and now just type define grid. Actually I just used the online interpreter system, you can uh, understand easily. So def grrt grid as simple functions. I don't use any parameter here friends because this is an optional, and now this function will print something. Hello, welcome to be learning club, welcome to be learning club. Okay, so are you enjoying the be learning club tutorial or not? Just comment below. Okay, now run it. No, you can see anything here. Okay, so you have to call the function. For calling the function, what will you have to use? So for calling the functions, you have to use the function name greet, but do not inside that. So because these functions inside this is called the body of the function. So just uh, call the function. And how to call the function? grwt name of the function and call it. Okay, so now run it. Okay, so you can see hello, welcome to be learning club. So this is the function name greet, and these functions print the value of this. And now you have to call the function. Just type the function name and sign of call. Okay, so you can change anything here. So now this is the simple functions. And now what is the functions parameter? So what are the functions parameter? Whatever you inside this first bracket, it is a parameter. So let's see. So let's f of x comma y, it is a function in mathematical term. F of xy is defined by x plus y minus 2. So here x and y are the parameters. So you can change the value of x and y to anything. Let f of x equal to 4 and y equal to 5. So the value of these functions will be 4 plus 5 minus 2. So 9 minus 2 will be 7. So x and y are the parameters of the functions. So let's see, just add two value. I already given the example. So let's again def add underscore 2. Okay, so now pass the parameter a comma b. Here I use the 2 parameter. So now just return, you have to return the value a plus b. Otherwise also inside the functions you can create a variable that is sum of underscore 2, sum of 2 equal plus a plus b, and return this variable sum of 2. Okay, sum of the variable will store the value of a plus b, and return will return the value sum of 2. So now I have created functions named add2, where it will add the value of a and b. Okay, so let's call the functions. So now print the what is the function's name? Add2, and just pass the value of a and b. So what is the value of a? Just type anything, 5 comma 7. Okay, now print it. So yes, 12. So now you can store this value into another variable. So just another variable, create the result equal, just type the function name and call the function, and the value of a is 5 and value of b is 7, and now print the result value. Okay, so now save it and run it. You can print it 12. So here you can also add a string. So for add a string, you just have to type inside the inverted comma. So just the value of function is. Okay, now after that you have to put a comma and then pass the result. Okay, now just return it. So the value of the function is 12. So okay, so these are the positional argument. So a b are the positional argument, because when we put 5 at first, this is the value of a automatically. When we put 7, it will have the value of b automatically. So if I change 5 to anything 6, then now the value of a will be 6 and value of b will be 7. Okay, So remember, these are the positional argument. So in the PDF I already defined. So here the calling of the function, how to call a function, a simple function. So now the functions parameter, what are the functions parameter? So these calls are the functions parameters. And now there is here it is the functions, and the positions value, their positions value are assigned based on their position. Just read one times this PDF. So a 5, here 5, it is the value of a, and b, the value of b is 3, already used. So now these are the positional argument. Okay, so now keyword argument, what are the keyword argument? Let's just go to the our file functions.py. So now just what are the keyword arguments? So here I just define a function like introduce is a function. So introduce name and age are the keyword argument. And now the introduce is a functions. So now print what will it will print? My name, or your name, the person name is, just put a second bracket and pass the parameter name, and age is just put a second bracket and pass the parameter age. But it will not work, friends. You have to put a if string when you start the string. So here put the f string, just f, you can see here f string. You have to put the f string when you using this. Okay, so keyword argument, when you using the keyword argument, you have to put the f string here. So now just call the functions. So here just print, not a print, already print is inside the function. So just call the function introduce, and here just type uh, John, John, and comma 7. Okay, just save it and run it. Okay, the person name is John and age is 7. So if I change this, so that's like 7 at first and John at second. So what will happen? Let's see. So the person name is 7 and age is John. Because this is the positional argument, automatically 7 have the value of name and age is John. So that will not I want. So you have to put age equal this and name equal this. So in this way you can use the keyword argument. So here you define the keyword age equal to 7 and name equal to John. Now it is the right way. You can see here the person name is John and age is 7. Otherwise, if you remove this, it will treat as a positional argument. That's like this. You can see here the second output, the person name is 7 and the age is John. Okay, so for this you have to put the keyword argument, age is this and name is this, John. So just run it. You can see the person name is John and the age is 7. Okay, so now coming to the default parameters. So what is the default parameters? So here I just put the age have a default value is 15. Okay, so now if just remove this, so default value age is 15. If you do not mention the value of age inside when you calling the functions, it will automatically assumes the value of age will be 15. Okay, so let's run it. So the person name is John and age is 15. But here if you want to change the value, just you have to change the age. So like I want to change the age 15 to 30. Okay, now save it and just run it. So now you can see the age is 30, but default value of age is 15. So this is the default parameters. So here I also use the default parameter for name is none, N-O-N-E, none. So here just remove this and save it. And if I run this, you can see the person name is none and age is 30, because none is the default value of name. if I remove this age equal to 30 also, so what are the default values? Default values for name is none, and for age the default value is 15. So now save it and run it. So the person name is none and age is 15. Okay, so this is the default parameters. Now coming to the return statement, what are the return statement? Every function will return a value. So now I already have shown when we add two numbers the return value. So now let's see the return statements, because we are going to step by step. So def function square square. So define a square is a functions. uh, just put a parameter number number, and then return retur and return the number to the power. So for to the power we can't use the double time of multiple sign. So number square means, that's like I just going to here. So in Python you have to write 2 the into 4, that means 2 to the power 4. Okay, so 4 into 5, that means 4 to the power 5. So now here the number double star, that means to the power the square. So because we want to square of the number, so the function square will return the square of any number used by you. Okay, so default value of the number we just want. And now print the functions. At first I want to create a variable value equal to squ square, and just pass it. Default value of the square is 1, so I don't need to put a value at first. So now just print the value. Okay, so yes, 1, because 1 to the power 2 is 1. Now I want to get what is the square of 4. So it will be 16. Let's see. So square of 4 is 16. Okay, so square of 6 will be 36. So save it and run it. 36. So this is the return statement. Okay, if no return statement is used, the functions returns none. Okay, so just for the sake of your, so here just return. Okay, so now what will happen, let's see. None. Okay, so if no return statement is used, the function returns none. Okay, so this is the return statement. Now coming to the variable scope. Two type of variable scope we have already seen at first introductions. Let's see the variable scope, where two type of variable scope, local scope and the global scope. So just quick to the variable scope, local scope and the global scope. Let's see what are the local scope, what are the global scope. So now go to the functions. Here functions.py actually. So at first I will discuss about what is the local scope. Okay, local scope, that is means local variable. Whatever I used inside the function, it is called the local variable. So at first I want to just define a functions. Add is a functions, and this will add two number x comma y. These are the parameters, and return just x plus y. Okay, so now the value will be add two numbers 6 and 8, and it will print the value 14. Okay, so now at defined here x equal 5. Okay, so this is the local variable. Whatever you used inside the functions, this is the local variable. X is a variable, you are using x variable inside the functions, so this is the local variable. So if you at print the x, just remove it and print x. So now what will have, print x. So yes, if I just print it 5 and none. Okay, so how it is possible 5 and none? Because here I not using any return statement. I already said here, where just I already said, if no return, the statement is used, the return function none. So that's why here it will return none, but here I use the print statement, so it will print the value of x is 5. X is a local variable I have used inside the functions. So I think you understand why this is non-value and why this is the 5. Okay, so what is the local variable? You are understood this. Okay, so now to the global variables. So the global variable basically what are the outside of the functions. So let x, just defined x equal 10. So this is the outside of function, but when we save it and run the functions, it will have the value 5. So where is the 10 here? So okay, let's see how to use the variable, global variable x. So for this you have to use the keyword global, 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 and space x. So this is the global variable. You are defined the global variable x. So now just here global global x, and here just pass the x value of x is 30, but it will have an error, friends. You already defined x equal to 10. Why are you using same parameter here? So just remove the x from the parameter, then the error will be vanished. Okay, so if you just run it, so then you will, then the value argument, zero positional argument, so you just remove this also. And now because here is no position, so you have to use the zero position argument. So now you can see the 30. So because you are already defined inside the variable x equal to 30, so that's why it is the 30. So now it is returning the 30. Okay, so if you remove this x equal to 30, so what will happen? Let's see. So yes, x value is 10. So now change it to 20. So let's see, x value is 20. This is the global variable x you can use inside any functions. So if you want to use any variable which is outside the functions, you have to define this variable by global, and you can use this variable inside the functions. These are the global variables. So just read it just one time and you can understand easily. Okay, so I think you understand the thing what is the local variable and the global variable. So if you put x equal to 50, then it will treat it as local, and now if you run this, so this will have the value of 50. Okay, so I think you have cleared about what are the local and global variable. Now argument and keyword arguments. So what are the args and kwargs? So let's see. So these things actually basically arguments and keyword arguments. So now just delete it. Define a functions. Let define a functions summation and just pass the arguments. So what you have to pass? Just arguments. Star args, args. Okay, so star args. Okay, for the sake of practice you can use the online compiler also, friends. So now summation of args and just define the functions total. Here I don't know how many parameters will be used, so that's why I using arguments, args. So before args you have to put a multiple sign. So total, total equal sum. What is the sum? Sum is already predefined functions in the Python. It will return the total value inside the sum. So let's args pass the args this, and now print and just print the sum. So let use the f string and sum sum and sum total total, and now just second bracket and total total. Okay, so when you are using this second bracket total, this variable inside the print, So you have to use the if string. Okay, so now use the sum function. Call the summation function for the value of 1 2 3 4 summations. So the value of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, so now 4 3 7 8 9 10, it will have the value 10. So sum total is 10. I don't know how many parameters I used here, so that's why I use the args. So here star the args. If you change this like gwm, arbitrary gwm, so here you have to pass gwm. Okay, so now just save it. Okay, sorry, so save it and now just run it. So it will have the same thing, sum 10. So here for the arguments you have to put a multiple sign, then you just define the argument names, gwm, args. Args is the things which everybody used actually, args. And for the keyword arguments, the used double times of multiple sign. For the normal arguments, it is the star args. You can use any name instead of args. So now friends, call the functions for the value of x summations of 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. Okay, now save it and just run it. Okay, so sum total is 35. I don't know how many times, how many parameters are using, so that's why I pass the arguments dot star args. So now coming to the keyword argument. So now just define a function at first. So what, just define the function name. Let's displays underscore info. But in the function name you cannot use dash. Okay, so you have to use the underscore. So some rules will be there, I will talk about later. So now just pass the keyword arguments. So for the keyword arguments you have to use the 2 times of multiplication sign and name of the keyword arguments, kwargs. This is the default. That means everybody using kwargs keyword argument. You, if you use any name, then you can use. Okay, so let's just type here a for loop for x comma, not x, let's key comma value. Don't worry, I will explain everything in kwargs kwargs keyword argument dot items. Just call it items is the function inside the keyword arguments. So don't worry, I will explain. Just let me first do the code. So print for the for loop. I think I'm not explaining the for loop so till now. So for loop basically it is a loop system in the Python. I will talk about it later in the another video, but at first I want to see how keyword arguments works, and I will explain the for loop in this video some also. So just wait, I just at first let me code it. So just print, here I use the if string, and now just second bracket and key, and for each key there is a value. For each key there is a value. Basically this is a dictionary type. Okay, so now here call the functions display info, and just name equal anything John, John, and this is the keyword argument name, and the age will be 45, and now city will be any New York. Okay, so this is the things. Now just run it. Wait, I will explain it. So here you can see the name is John and age is 45 and city is New York. Here you have to define name equal to John, age equal to 45, and city equal to New York. This name, age, and city, these are the parameters, but you don't know how many parameters are you using, how many keyword. Actually these are the keyword, you know. So x, y, these are the positional arguments, and this name, age, city, these are the keywords basically. So how many you are using keywords, you don't know, so that's why you are using keyword arguments here. So name, age, city, school, so the infinite number of keywords here. school school equal to abc school, ABCSEHOOL school. So if I run this, you can see the name John, age 45, city New York, and school is ABC school. You don't know the how many keyword are you are using for these particular functions. So that's why you are using the keyword arguments. So what are keyword argument? I already discussed previously. So these are the position, actually these are the positional argument, and when you define the key equal to some value, that is name equal to some value and age equal to some value, these are the keyword arguments. And I don't know how many keyword argument I'm using inside these functions. So for this I am using double star or double multiplication sign keywords. Okay, so the for each loop, for each, I just explain the for loop at first. So just uh, remove this copy and just for x in y print 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 x. Okay, so I'm not defining y actually. So y is a list of some value. So the third, using third bracket, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So here write do the right syntax. Okay, now if I print this, you can see the value is 1 2 3 4 5 iterations. So for x in y, so print x. So for each value of y it will print. Okay, so this is the loop basically. I will explain in the later video, but this is the basic function of for loop. So for x in y, that means x have the multiple value, and now I'm using the each value of y. So here for this I have to use the for loop. So this is the basic functions. So I repeat it again. So for I'm using the each value of y, so that's why I am using the for loop for x in y. For x is a variable, it will fetch the each value of y and print now x. So you can see the print each value. Okay, so x is a variable inside the for loop. So this is the basic functions of for. So now, so these are my previous functions. So here I'm using the keyword argument. So key and value. So key and value, for each key and value, these are two variable in keyword dot items. I don't know how many are there. So name John, age 45, city, this. So now I'm using again display info. Name equal something is uh, Davy, and now age equal 40. So if I run this, so you can see here, so John name, age 45, city New York, school and school ABC, and in the next line name Devi and age 40. So okay, you can see this. So when you are using a particular and predefined function, you have to use the all the parameters, but here I don't know how many parameters I am using for a particular functions. So that's why I'm using keywords. So basically this is the difference between the arguments and the keyword arguments. Okay, so I hope I'm clear your doubt. Okay, so now what is the lambda functions? So lambda is the one-liner functions, friends. So just before you start your practice, just read this PDF one times. I will provide this PDF. You will have I think you will have no doubt about these arguments and the keyword arguments, and you can watch this video more than once. Okay, so you will have a clear picture or a clear view about the arguments or keyword arguments, so don't worry about that. I will make many example for the Python functions in the upcoming videos, so don't worry for the practice. Okay, so now coming to lambda functions. So what are the lambda function? Lambda is a one-liner function. Lambda, Lambda, lambda. So what is the syntax of the lambda functions? Lambda, then you have to parameters, and now the you then expressions. Type the expression. Okay, so let example. So lambda, parameter, and expression. So just go to the PDF file. So here is the lambda functions, lambda, parameter, and the expressions. Okay, so let's see what are the lambda functions. So now just remove it. So now let a variable summation. Summation is variable, it will return the sum of value two numbers. So now define the function lambda. This is a one-liner function lambda. Lambda, now use the parameter a comma b or x comma y, whatever you have to use, then it will return the value a plus b. Okay, so here I create a variable summation. Inside the variable lambda is functions of using two parameters a and b, and these lambda functions will return the value of a plus b. Okay, so now print the value of summations. Here I am using the value for a is 2 or value for b is 3. So just print the type the variable name summation and just pass the value of a and b positional arguments 2 and 3. Okay, so it will have the value 5. Okay, so it will have the value 5. So if I put 4 and 3, so a equal to 4 and b equal to 3, it will have the value of 7. So this is the lambda function, one-liner functions. Okay, so now let's see the often we use the functions like map, filter, and stored. So now let's see map, filter, and stored. So let the create a list of numbers equal. So how can you create list inside the third bracket? So create a list 1 2 3 4 5. So this is a list, and now create a variable is quared squared equal list, and list map, and now using lambda function lambda, and now the define the variable x, and these functions will return the value x to the power to the power, that is using 2 time multiplication sign, to the power 2, x to the power 2, that means x square. So square is the functions, so it will have the value x to the power 2. Okay, now print square, print is quared squared. Okay, so just so now you have an error like map must have at least two arguments. Okay, so here you have to use two arguments. So this is the first argument. So now you are using two arguments like comma numbers, because x will take the numbers from this variable number. Okay, so at first x will take 1, then x will take 2, then x will take 3, then x will take 4, then x will take 5. So let's see what happened. So yes, you can see the 1 4 9 16 25. So these are basically the squared of the number 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so let me repeat again. So here I am creating first of variables numbers which will store the list 1 2 3 4 5. Now I am want a list which will return the square of this value 1 2 3 4 5. So for this I'm just create another variable squared, and this squared is the list, and this will inside the list that will map the every numbers. So map lambda x, and x will return x to the power 2. Okay, so x will return x to the power 2 and comma numbers, and x will take the every number from the numbers variable, and now print squared. So here you just see this is the list which will return the square of every number. Okay, so now using the map again, applies a function to all item is an iterable. So now just delete it and now define functions again. Functions, what is the functions? Let's see. Fahrenheit, I already give an example into the PDF file. So Fahrenheit, F-A-R-H, just Fahrenheit functions, and Celsius, CEL, and now return. You have to put the value of Celsius, it will return the Fahrenheit value. So return Celsius, CEL. So tell me what is the rule for the Celsius and Fahrenheit conversions? So just comment it below. So Celsius in star 9 by 5, everybody knows it actually, and plus 32. Okay, so this will return the value of Celsius as a Fahrenheit value. First of temperature, so temperature will be TEMP, temperature will be 3, or the Celsius, the temperature will be 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, now print FARH, Fahrenheit. Okay, so now pass TEMP, temperature value. So now it will return 212 degree Fahrenheit. That means 100 degrees Celsius is 212 Fahrenheit. Okay, so now I am using a list instead of a single numbers. So here just use a list like 0, 30, 100, 0, 30, 100. This is least. But if I run this, it will not work. Okay, this will the error, give the error. Okay, for this you have to using the map function. So let's see. So now the temp result, result equal to temp result is a functions. This will fetch the all values of the Fahrenheit for each Celsius value. So now list, 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 and now using the map functions, and now inside the map functions you have to pass two arguments. First of all, the functions. Before this we are using the lambda and then the value. So here I am using FARH, already defined the functions, and the value temp. So this is the functions, this is the value. So this will map the Fahrenheit to temp value. So this is the functions, and this temp is the value, and this will convert and list will convert each value in a list, and then I will print this temp ratio temp underscore result as a list. So you can see 32, 86, 212. Are you understand or not? So if you not understand, I am going to tell you again. So here I just define a function Fahrenheit and put the Celsius as a parameter. So these functions basically return the value of Fahrenheit for each Celsius value. At first I'm using the single temperature, and this is very easy to print for each single Celsius value for to convert it Fahrenheit. But when you using the list, how can you do that? You have to use the map functions. For each Fahrenheit there is each temperature. So this is the already defined the function's name Fahrenheit, and I just remove list at first, you will have better understand. So already I am here defined the FARH, Fahrenheit, the functions, and then pass the each value temperature. So at first of all, Fahrenheit take the value 0, then Fahrenheit take the value 30, then Fahrenheit take the value 100, and the value will be stored in temp result variable. Okay, so now if I run this, what will happen? This will create an object list. So now I am going to convert it into the list. So for convert it into the list, you have to using list, then pass the map and Fahrenheit comma temp. So now it will have the value 32, 86, and 212. Okay, so that's why I'm using list here, and map functions will map each Fahrenheit temperature value to Celsius. Okay, So these are the input and this is the output. Okay, so you can read from the PDF file, already will be there. So just save it and run it. Yes, you can see it. Okay, so this is the map. Now I'm going to use the filter. Filter, filter. I'm going to use the filter. So now just remove this. So this is the map functions. Now I'm going to use the filter functions. filter, filter. So first of all, number, number, numbers, and numbers equal range. Actually, range is predefined in function Python. So range will return the integers from 1 to 10. So just print it, print number numbers. So what will happen? Let's see. Okay, the range will be, so just convert into a list, list. So now print it. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, 10 will not be printed. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the total 9 numbers from no, total 10 numbers from counting from 0 actually. Okay, so now I am using the filters. So now I want to get the even numbers. So for even is the variable and this will store the even. So for using the so at first using the list, you have to use list for print the values. So now filter. I will filter from the range of 10 numbers only even values. So here I'm using the lambda functions at first. So lambda and pass the variable pass the parameter x, and x is defined by if x divided by 2, then it will remainder actually this is a remainder sign, not a division sign. So now when x is divided by 2, remainder will be 0. So this is the remainder sign, friends, and this is not a division sign. You already know about this. So this is the division sign, but this is the remainder sign. So when I divide x by 2 and the remainder if equal to 0, then filter those numbers. Okay, so what now, pass the list, where what the input list. So just pass the input list, the numbers. So filter map, everything will take the two positional arguments. So now just run it. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tell me why it is. Because you are passing the number, friends. You have to pass the even. So even, just save it and run it. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. 0 is an even number. You don't know or you know about this. So 0 is an even number. So basically what I'm doing, let's I'm repeating once more. So at first I'm using the numbers as a variable, and numbers variable will store the range, will store the value from 0 to 9. This will total 10 numbers, 0 to 9, and I want to fetch the even numbers from this. For the even number, I am define the functions. X is x, when I divided by x by 2, it will return the 0, and the pass the all the input list. So this is the input list numbers. So this is the functions and this is the input list, and filter those numbers. Okay, so here is filter those numbers. What will have the remainder 0 when I will divide it by 2. You can use the predefined functions. Now friends, after the filter I'm using the reduce. So now I'm using the reduce. Don't worry. So here I am example the reduce, and we will talk about this all reduce filter in the upcoming videos more deeply. But here I want to give an example for reduce. So when you are using the reduce, so you have to import from functool, functools, functools, import reduce, reduce. Okay, so now the numbers are the range of 10. So here just pass a list of numbers 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 for better understanding, and then the product of this number. I want to product of this number, so product of these numbers. And now using reduce functions, and now using lambda lambda lambda, and pass x comma y, and that means a comma b will be a star a into b, x comma y will be x into y. Okay, so now pass the list of the numbers or sequence, iterable sequence. So at first you have to type the functions. So reduce will take the two values, so at first functions, then the iterable sequence. Okay, so now just pass the iterable sequence. What are the sequence is the numbers, it is a sequence we already defined. So now just type the product, so print product, product. So if I run this, you can see 24. So x comma y, that means 1 into 2 will be 2, 2 into 3 will be 6, 3 into 4, 6 into 4 will be 24. So 1 into 2, x comma y, 1 into 2 will be 2, 2 into 3 will be 6, and then 6 into 4 will be 24. So what are the reduce, we will make a more deep video in the upcoming videos, but for the sake of the information you can seek the reduce functions in Python from the greeks.com org. You can see some of the example for the reduce function you can use. So let's see this example here. Just copy it from here and just paste it. So at first see the definition, what is the reduce. So now the reduce functions and then sequence, you have to type the functions, then you have to type the sequence, is used to apply a particular function passed in its argument to all the list elements mentioned in the sequence passed along. Okay, so what it is means, so here this is the functions, and this a is the sequence, seq sequence of numbers. So sequence of number, and this is the functions x comma y, it will return the x plus y, that means 1 plus 2 will be 2, 2 plus 3 will be 5, 5 plus 4 will be 9, 9 plus 5 will be 9 plus 5, sorry, for 1 plus 2 will be 3, 3 plus 3 will be 6, 6 plus 4 will be 10, and 10 plus 5 will be 15. So sum of those values. Okay, so if you want to sum up the values 1 2 3 4 5, you can use the sum functions which is already defined the Python, but here I'm using the reduce functions, so you can make understand how reduce will work. 1 plus 2 will be 3, 2 plus 3 will 1 plus 2 will be 3, then 3 plus 3 will be 6, 6 plus 4 will be 10, 10 plus 5 will be 15. So for more information, you can visit the websites or the greeks.com, and here lots of examples are there, you can see, and I will make a deep video later. Okay, so now some the recursive functions, factorial functions, and the Fibonacci series. So first of all, I will make a factorial functions. What is a factorial, you know? So what are the factorials? So factorials basically like 3 factorials. 3 into 2 into 1, that means 6. 4 factorials is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, 24. 4 into 3, 12. 12 into 2, 24. And what is the 5 factorials? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So multiple of those. So it's basically 120. Okay, this is the factorial functions. I think you already know about this. So now define these factorial functions. So def factorial and pass n. I want to print the factorial of 5. So here is one parameters needed. So that's why I use the single parameter n. And now if n equal 0, if is the conditional function, if is a condition, so I will talk about if in the next or upcoming videos, but for the sake of the information, if is the condition. If n equals something and if it is true, then it will execute, otherwise it will not execute. This is a basic things of if. Or if n equal to 0 or if n equal 1, then return the 1. If n equal to 0 or n equal to 1, then return 1. Why? Because 0 factorial is 1 and 1 factorial is also 1. Okay, otherwise else. So if the value of n is not 0, not 1, it's like 5, 6, then what will happen? So you have to do a else block. So use the right indentation, if and else. So inside the else block, just type return n into factorial n minus 1. Okay, so this is the factorial functions. So now pass the factorial, just pass the factorial of 5. So print factorial of 5. 120. So instead of these, if you using normal n minus 1, just n minus 1, what will happen? Let's see. I will tell you what will happen. It will only value the 20 because 5 into 4 20. So it will gives uh, just 5 5 into 4 equal to 20. But I need the factorial of 5. So for this you have to use the factorial of n minus 1. Basically these you have to call these functions again factorial. So and then factorial n minus 2, that means factorial of 4. That factorial of 4 is basically 3 into factorial of 2, and factorial of 2 basically 2 into factorial of 1. Okay, so n 5 into factorial of 4, that means factorial of 4, what is the factorial of 4? Factorial of 4 is 4 into factorial of 3. Factorial of 3 is factorial 3 into factorial of 2. Okay, so this is the factorial functions. So now this is the value is 120 factorial of 5. Factorial of 6. What will be the value of factorial 6? Tell me. 720. Okay. So I think you understand why I use the factorial functions here. Oh, if I'm not using factorial functions, if I only use n minus 1, that means 5 minus 1 will be 4. This will return the value 20. But if I use here factorial functions, that means the factorial functions of 4, when n minus 1 is 4, then what is the factorial function is 4? This is the 4 into factorial functions of 3. And what is the factorial functions of 3? This is the 3 into factorial functions of 2. And what is the factorial functions of 2? This is 2 into factorial functions of 1, and factorial functions of 1, it is a value of 1. So that means basically this is the 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So this is the factorial functions. Are you clear or not? If you're not clear, then again watch this video. So now coming to another example, Fibonacci series. So what is the Fibonacci series? Let me tell you. So 0 1, then add this 0 and 1 1, then add these two things 1 1 2, then add these 2 2 and 1 is 3, and then add these 2 3 2 is 5 5 3 8 8 5 13. So this is basically the Fibonacci series, previous sum of the previous two numbers. Okay, so let's start. So now just define DEF Fibonacci F E B O F I, sorry, F I P O N N A C N N A C, and just write Fibonacci. And now n is a single parameter. If n is less than equal logical operator, here I am using the logical operator. I already make a video on the operators. So this is a logical operator. If n is less than equal 0, then what will happen? Just print print a statement. Just print a statement. So put a positive integer, positive integer. Otherwise it will not work. So now else, instead of else I use elif functions. So now elif, that means else if n is not less than equal to 0, then elif n equal. So now pass the second condition. If n equal 1, then return. You can type elif condition infinite number, okay, but if you type else, then you have to type once. Else will be used once, but elif will be used more than one. So you can type any conditions just using elif keyword. So elif n equal, first of all, if n is less than equal to 0, then print the statement else if n equal 1, then return 0. Then elif again, else if n equal to n equal to 2 n equal to 2, then return 1. And then else. So here you can see I'm using elif 2 times. That you can use elif more than one times for multiple conditions, but else you have to use one times. So I will make a video on if else condition in the later upcoming videos, but I think you have a basic understanding if and elif and else. Okay, so else if not three conditions, so then return Fibonacci a5, just this spelling a5 b a5 bo. Okay, so this type this Fibonacci and pass n minus 1 and plus Fibonacci n minus 2. Okay, so now just print Fibonacci, sorry, not file, Fibonacci, and pass value of n is 4. Okay, so now just type here, it is the return, the value is 4 is return n equal to 2, or else it will be okay. So Fibonacci n minus 2 is integers, and it will return the value of 2. Okay, it is right now. If I value is the 5, and let me check first of all, it will have the 3. If I put the value 6, then it will put the value of 5. Okay, so yes, it's absolutely right. If I put the 4 here, so value is 2. So what is the Fibonacci series? 0 1 1 2 3 5 3 5 8 13. So if I put the value of 4, then this will return 2. If I put the value of 5, this will return 3. Is it or not? Let me check. If I put the value of 4, okay, return 2. Yes, if I put the value of 4, it will return 2. If I put the value of 5, it will return 3. It will return 3. If I put the 5, it will return 3. So yes, it will return 3. So this is the Fibonacci series basically. Now coming to the comments, so you can use the comment inside any functions like has inline comment. So this is Fibonacci series. So for better understanding the code, you can multiple line comments, do multiple line. For this you have to use 3 times of inverted comma. So is this is Fibonacci series. So this is a multiple line comments. So if I run this, so it will not execute actually. So this is a comment for better understanding the code. Okay, So now the type of annotation. So what are the annotations? So in the PDF I will give the example what are the annotations. You can see it. So let's see what are the annotations. So just define a function greet. Okay, so name is a para keyword, and str is a string, and this name always be a string, and it will just return a string str. It will just return a string. Okay, this is in. Now the return, every functions will return or print a value. So now return if here I am using f string, and now using hello, and just put the name keyword inside the second bracket. So when I am using the f string, I have to use these variables inside the second bracket. So these functions, basically these functions will return the string always. str, that means string. So name variable, it will take the only string value whatever it is. If you put 5, it will treat as a string. If you put the 7.5, it will also treat as a string, not as a float number or integers. Always it will treat a string. Okay, so now create a variable, uh, create the variables like name one, and just ria. At first you have to call the function greet, 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 and pass ria, ria, and print the name one, print the name one variable. So okay, so now just you can see hello ria, hello, this is okay, hello, this is ria. If I put here 7 is a integer, but it will treat it as a string. Hello, this is 7. Okay, so this is treated as a string. If I put 7 plus 5, what will happen? Let's see. So this will treat it as 12, because already 7 plus 5 is 7 is a integer and 5 is an integer. Greet function will convert it is a string, but at first 5 plus 7 will execute, then greet function will execute. Understand? Okay, so greet function will take only the string, but before taking the string 7 plus 5 will execute. That's why it is 12, and 12 it is a string here. Okay, so now if I run it, just like another, using another name, just John. Now okay, so this is Jogan. So now this is the annotations. Okay, so now coming to some practices. So here I'm using some example. Already I'm defining in the PDF. So now just use some example. So define is the keyword for the functions. Calculate the total price. Calculate. These are some example. Calculate, late, calculate price, price, calculate price. So just take the keywords price, and tax rate, tax underscore rate. So this function will calculate the price. So return the price, price, price plus price, price into the tax rate, okay. So the tax rate is 0.5, whatever you can. So just the later variable, shop GST, or shop price, price. Actually GST it is used in India. So price, shop price. Now just pass calculate price, and price will be a total price will be 500, and tax rate of tax is 0.2%, that means 20%. So now just okay, print shop price save it and run it. You can see 600 with the rate of 0.2 and 20%. Okay, so this is basically one example. Now I'm using the exceptions. So if it is not, that means here gives any error, that means if I using this as a string, so the something as string, it will give an error, friends. Okay, so it will give an error, it only take integer or float value. So avoid this error, you are using the try and except. So let try, try, and then inside the try block this is written. But if there is any error, except, 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 just print return return something, or variables must be variables must be integers or float. Okay, so now start. So here I am handling the exceptions. So that is the if the price value is integer or float and this will return a value, then this code will execute. Otherwise anything error, this will execute. So this is the exception handling. So variable must be integer or float. So if I here just type the variable 5, so this is the 6.0, you can see this. If I do the 1100, so you can see this, the actual value is 120. 20% of 100 is 120. So here if I put the value like 0.2, it is a string because I am here I'm using the uh, invert comma. So now it is a string here, 0.2. Now it will give an error, variable must be integers or float. Your defined error, you can define the error output. So this is the handle exceptions. So if there is no error, this will execute. If there is error, so this will execute. So now I'm giving you an example of the zero division error. So now def divide saf save underscore div is a safe division a comma b. So what is the zero division error? You already know, any number is not divisible by 0. So inside the try block, just return the value a divided by b. Otherwise except except zero division error, except zero division error. So just put any string, just return. At first you have to use return and put any string. So numbers cannot divided by 0. Okay, so now just you can okay, so you have to call the functions. So let's call the functions. So now just variable that div is a variable. Div variable will store the value sf if is safe division of 5 by 2. Okay, so now print div will store the value of the safe division of 5 by 2, and this will the 2.5 actually. So missing one positional argument. Oh, actually I am defining this function inside this. So why it is, you have to put the value of a and b. Sorry friends, just I am ending up the session. So for this, so 5 comma 2. So now the value of a will be 5 and the value of b will be 2. Now if you divide it, it will give a 2.5. So if I put here instead of 2 instead of 0, 2 instead of 0, so now the numbers cannot divide by 0, there is a zero division error. Okay, so now if I put here any string, what will happen? So this will something unsupported is a string. So now exceptions, if any exceptions, if it is not exceptions, so something error. So just type something error. Okay, what will happen? Let's see. So something error, you can define the error. So this is the exception handling. But for the division zero division error, it is suitable. If it is divided by 0, then something error. If I run this, sorry, if I run this as the value of b is 0, then it is a 0 division error, then something error. So this is a 0 division error. So you can define the error. So this is the handle the exceptions. Okay friends, so these are handle the exceptions. So now there is the decorators and the asynchronous functions. So the last two topic of these sessions, I just want to tell you these two short topic. First is generators. So let def define a functions Fibonacci series again. FIBO Fibonacci series SE Fibonacci series, and now just put the value of n for the Fibonacci series, and now a comma b will be defined the value 0 comma 1. That means the positional argument a will be 0 and b will be 1, and while is a loop. So I will tell while loop, if, else, or the for loop in the upcoming videos, but for the sake of understanding for the Python functions, so this while is a simple loop. So while loop will execute until this condition is matched. That means the value of n is 14 and the value of a is 0, then it will execute. Okay, so when the value of a is greater than or greater than of n, it will not execute, it will stop. But until the value of a is less than n, the block inside the while will execute. This is the simple while loop. That means again I am telling the a this block. Actually let me first write the code yield a and a comma b, not yield a. Now a comma b will be just b comma assign the value a is b and b is a plus b, a plus b for the Fibonacci series. The last two, the previous two numbers, the sum of the previous two numbers. Okay, so while loop execute until the condition is matched. If a is greater than n, then while is not execute, but when or until a is less than n, this loop will execute. We'll talk about while loop later, but for the sake of information, just know while loop execute that time when n is less than n. If n is greater than n, then while loop stopped. Okay, so now Fibonacci series n. So just print Fibonacci series number. Just print Fibo Fibonacci series, and the pass the value of n is 5. So yes, the object generator, it is a list. So convert these things into a list. So this is a list function. So now it is 0 1 1 2 3. This is a Fibonacci series up to the 5 position number 1 2 3 4 5. So if you print up to the 10 position number, just save it and run it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 8 5 3 2 1 1 0. Okay, so yes, this is not a 10 position number. That is friends wrong. The value of n is the value of a less than equal to n. That means the at the 8. So at the 8 is the value of a. Now my value is 10. That means 8 is less than 10. So that is execute. After 10, the next number is 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 is greater than n, greater than n. What is the value of n? N is 10. So it is not execute. So I'm I just want to say the here I taking the n as 10. Okay, n as 10. So while loop will execute at that until that time when this condition will satisfied. So here 8 is less than 10. So this is satisfied. Okay, this will execute, but next number of the Fibonacci series 5 comma 8 will be 13. So 13 is not less than 10. 13 is greater than 10. So that's why it is not execute while loop. Okay, so these are simple things. Okay, so these are generator functions, and now the asynchronous functions. So I just delete this thing. asynchronous functions. So import, you have to first import the assign echo a is y, a is y, these things a is y in cio assign echo. That means this deals with time actually. Have it. So have to define the asynic a is y in c asynic, and now def define the function name greet greet. Okay, so I want to use these things in the online compiler. So this is the define. At first you have to import the assign echo import import a is y, a is y in, a is y in, I think cio assign echo. And now greet before the define the function you have to pass the argument a is y in c. Now await 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 dot, not await dot, await a is y in cio assign echo dot sleep sleep a is y in cio. Okay, so a is y in cio, I think spelling is correct. So sleep 2, and then 2 seconds, sleep for 2 seconds and execute the print pri, and just let me do this. I will explain you. Print hello world. Okay, so now run it, but you have to type a is y in cio assign echo dot run, and then call the function greet greet. Okay, so whenever you calling the functions you have to pass the parenthesis. So now just run it. So you can see the hello world printed, but what actually happened, when you call the function it will wait for 2 seconds, then it will run hello world. Just print anything before await async.sleep 2 seconds. So just hello world first 1, and this is hello world 2. Sorry. So just run it. So hello world 1, wait for 2 seconds, and hello world 2. So now I again pass the assign sleep for, now this is for the 5 seconds, wait for 5 seconds, and now print print print. Now what will it print? Now I am going to ending this session. So okay, so this is the last code. So I'm going to ending this session. So now run it. So you can see hello world, then wait for 2 seconds, and then hello world 2, then wait for 5 seconds, 1 2 3 4 5, and I am going to ending this session. So I think the Python function is very clear to you. I will give you more example in the later video. Now we will cover and the more topic in Python in the very amazing way. You can access the PDF or these codes from the description box. And if you have any questions, then let me know in the comment sections. Now I hope the Python functions is a piece of cake for you. I am just cover everything about the Python functions. So in the next video, we will see more example of the Python function. Then after that, we will see the if, else, elif, try, except that things, but the function is the main things in Python. So here I'm covered the full Python functions. So functions defined, calling functions, parameter, return statement. So inside the Python parameter functions parameter, position argument, keyword argument, default parameter. Here I am already discussed all of these things. Return statement, variable scope, local variable, what is the global variable, arguments, keyword arguments. You don't know how many position arguments are there, you don't know how many keyword arguments are there. Lambda functions, the one-liner functions, higher order functions, recursive functions, docstring, type of annotations, and some of the best practice and conclusions with the asynchronous functions. Asynchronous functions okay. So thank you friends, thanks for watching the video, and do share, like, and subscribe the channel for more, and wait for the next video. Thank you friends, goodbye.